welcome back into another edition of the D1 and Done pod. We are after dark rapid reaction from our second round in the 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. I'm Robbie Donahoe, Nick Mills, and Jake Mills alongside. Before we get started, I have a copy of my bracket. Now you see it, now you don't. It is completely toast. We can just be done with all the shenanigans. There's no point in doing any of this anymore. I'm in last place in every one of my bracket pools. You think a college basketball podcaster would know what he's doing when picking out his bracket, but he doesn't apparently. So,
Robbie, I think that's perfect. As many know, usually the people watching most college basketball often finish in the bottom half to maybe even dead last to some of said brackets.
Well, let alone picking bracket. How about placing brackets? I mean, what's Lenardi ranked in the world? And he's getting paid how much?
Good point.
That's a good point. I will say, so one of my, by the way, cheers everyone. I don't have a drink, but cheers to all of you.
And cheers, Robbie. Welcome back to your first March Madness After Dark, Robbie. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It is good to be here.
He missed a Wake and Take.
I
like the name?
Unfortunately have been, what'd you say?
Do you like the name, Wake and Take?
Wake and Take? I like it. Yeah.
Dusty actually came up with it.
Yeah. I've been kind of just treading water over these last few days, finishing up the week, and as you can tell, my voice is a little low, so I'm just hanging on by a thread right now. So, but hey, fellas, we sleep in May. All right, we got to make sure that we're up in our best at all times. So we're going to recap the games that have gone on in the round of 32 tonight. Just to forewarn you, as we're recording this, Tennessee and UCLA are about halfway through the second half, but it looks like the Volunteers are poised to pull that one away. But we'll keep you updated on how that one finishes up, and you'll know the result by the time this podcast comes out.
And Robbie, good on us for not recapping Tennessee's win. That's a smart play by us.
Exactly, right? You know, we don't need to give Tennessee that much credit, okay? Let's go ahead and start with maybe the shocker of the night, of the day. John Calipari, man. I don't know how. I don't know why. It just seems like something has clicked with this team as the Razorbacks defeat St. John 75-66. I don't have any explanation for what that game was, but it feels like all of that talent that Cal had on last year's team is starting to finally come together where it is right now, and they're starting to get healthy in the process.
Very true. Before Nick goes, and I wish Dusty was with us, but he is allegedly boots on the ground in Rupp Arena right now watching the Tennessee UCLA game. Allegedly. At least that's the text I saw from him prior to launching this pod. I'm more curious on if there's any, they've been doing, this run is incredible. I mean, 2 months ago at most, they were like, there's no chance in hell this team makes the tournament. Right. And Cal has bounced on that. But from the Kentucky fans, how do you feel? The fact that he is in a Sweet 16 first time since before COVID. And actually it's his first 2 tournament wins this week since COVID.
Yeah, so 19 was the last time they were in the Sweet 16. That was the team that lost to Auburn in the Sweet 16, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, lost to Auburn Elite 8 because
Elite 8, that's what it was. Yes, that's right.
Forgot how to shoot basketball. Yeah, but I don't know if I should just talk because a Kentucky fan is a loaded thing. How to feel right now, right? It's because that's again. I'm gonna be a broken record. You guys know this whole thing. I have no ill will for John Calipari. It just again, you don't want to lose a divorce the first year. That's kind of the position I'm in right now, right? That's really what I'm in. So. The Kentucky family's happy for all the crap he always got over the years that he's done the Cal special again. That being said, to lose to St. Peter's in Oakland and then to beat Pitino and Bill Self with the 10 seed, I don't even know all that. So maybe that's a discussion another day. I'm just gonna say it's a loaded thing. I think Kentucky fans, I would love to get the general consensus because again, there's a lot of Kentucky fans who don't like Pitino either. So that's whole other thing. So that's a different discussion for a different day. We're after dark, whatever. Cheers to everyone. I think that's the name of the game is congratulations, John Calipari. Because I think a lot of people, maybe me, I don't know, me included, were not saying he was dead, but I'm not totally sure this was possible, especially, again, when he walked into Rupp Arena on February 1st, he was 12-8 and 1-6 in the SEC.
Yeah.
Since then, I believe it's 10-5 overall since. And like I mentioned earlier, he is being Pitino himself without a Adou Thiero. This reminds me of the Cal I saw early in the Kentucky career. This is so damn impressive. It really is. Again, the Kansas is their own different thing, but to beat St. John's like that when St. John's was the year they're having, won the Big East outright in the regular season, won 30 games, won the Big East tournament. We had the Pitino love tour this year. He was on podcasts. He was at Big Blue Natus. Tyson Chicken. It's a whole thing. Holy crap, they're winning Sweet 16. All the credit in the world to him. Because, again, Adou Thiero is not playing basketball for them, and they pull us off. All the credit in the world. Holy shit.
It felt like that Arkansas out St. John's to St. John's. They scrapped it up. They got physical. It was intense. Neither team could shoot the ball worth a lick. They combined 4 for 41 from 3, which is just absolutely asinine. This whole season we kept saying, is it going to come back to bite St. John's, the fact that they can't shoot from 3? Sure enough, it did, because it felt like they were winning in spite of the fact that they were so poor shooting from 3. But R.J. Lewis was awful shooting the ball.
That's another story, by the way, we should probably head on.
That's a whole other story. So Rick Pitino asked in his post-game press conference why R.J. Lewis Jr. was not on the floor, and Pitino responds with, "I think you know that answer," which all of us started asking ourselves, no, we actually don't. You need to explain that to us, which I'm guessing he didn't want a guy on the floor that was 3 for 17 from the floor and was having a terrible shooting game, but I don't know if there's anything else that's really behind that or what.
So I found a thread on Twitter this evening.
The best.
That people are, again, it might as well be Reddit. And no one knows if it's actually true or not. I'm going to entertain it on this day. That he has not had a game where he's missed 5 shots in a row and then hit 2 shots in a row later on this year.
That's very specific.
Wow. So, wait, if he's missed 5 or
so he's missed 5 shots in a row.
It may have been 10. Sorry, if 5 or 10, there's great responsibility. They've been flowing, but it was 5 or 10 shots in a row during a game. He has not come back in that game and hit multiple shots in a row. So is that do St. John's fans know and the rest of us don't? I don't know about that comment from Pitino. I'm not sure. But at least it was at least a rabbit hole thread of who knows if it was real or not. But something I came across that was entertaining.
It was very odd, to say the least, and this looked like such a not a John Calipari team. They played with confidence, like down the stretch. Even when it got close, they were making big time plays. I'm sorry, but perfect timing.
In the halls of Rupp Arena, boots on the ground.
This could not have worked out any better for the timing. So, Dusty, welcome aboard. Dusty Mills is locked in on this one. We need your thoughts on this Calipari game. This felt like the most non-John Calipari win in years from a Calipari coach team.
Oh yeah, Cal. I am pumped for him. From a basketball standpoint, I am stunned. St. John's is horrible. No, okay, let me rephrase that. I mean, St. John's played horrible today.
Yeah, they played horrible. I don't know if they are horrible. They're a horrible shooting team.
Yes, and we're going to get the
I'm on that.
So, do we have more knowledge on the benching Lewis? Do we have?
That's what we kind of touched the bases on it, where Jake mentioned that if he went, he missed 5 straight shots
throughout a game, he has according to a thread I found from I think St. John's fans.
Here we go, Crab. You missed this earlier.
I can't remember exactly. I'll find it throughout the show, but. If he has essentially struggled throughout a game, he has yet to bounce back in that game. And that's why, again, I don't know if St. John's fans were like, oh, yeah, I get Pitino's quote or not. But if that makes sense that he cannot get hot at some point is essentially the thing I read.
Do you guys know who Nick and Jake look like?
Oh no! What the
Have you
Muppets
seen
from?
that brother? Have you seen
You
that
also
brother?
look like you're in 1920 New York right now.
Crap! Say we're gonna say we have something what you look like too. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you know that brother duo that does like the commentary of like announcers when they're going like crazy? Have you
It's-
guys
Oh,
seen-
I know what you're
Yes.
referring to. Yeah,
Do they not look like that right now?
they kind of do. I'll mention Dusty looks like he's about to give an apology for something he said on a YouTube video right now.
Well, I was like this. So you're in Robbie. He's in black and white for us, kind of. And he's smoking a cigarette. He's like in a noir film right now. He's like
Oh.
a detective.
He's in a
like
speakeasy.
Man, see, man, where?
Yeah, let me tell about the Cubs
Bill
today. Yeah.
Pick up a book from Dodger.
Ernie Banks, 2 for 4 today with a walk. Hey.
Big Mr. Curly.
Mr.
Yeah.
Curly.
Hey.
Yeah, good win, Cal. By the way.
That's a 5-4
Good job, Cal.
I hope if you're listening to this, you are
What are
watching
the days?
this on
That
YouTube.
boy can run. He can run fast.
Be careful, crap.
All right.
Be careful.
Let's turn our attention to the other side of this bracket.
They get good win against Arkansas. That, and then
Very
Thank you, Arkansas.
Very good win for Arkansas. It puts out St. John's, a team that many thought kind of took advantage of a rated Big East, and I mean, they
Mid-East.
came mid-East, some would say. But now this lines up where Texas Tech has the opportunity to play the 14, 11, and 10 seed. They will not play a single-digit seed until they get to the Elite Eight, which what a lineup that is for them. Now, they kind of struggled with UNCW, as we saw a couple days ago, 2 days ago. Then tonight, Drake, I thought, played pretty well, but Darion Williams, JT Toppin, 53 of Texas Tech's 77 points in the win. I think we're just kind of we're on a collision course with Texas Tech and Florida in the Elite Eight. Tell me I'm wrong here.
Well, real quick, help me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there another team in the last 5 years that also had like a run like that where they only played double-digit teams? Oh,
Who was it?
Houston 2021 Final
Yep.
Four.
Okay.
Basically played. I don't think they play a single digit seed to Final Four. I'm like pretty confident
I
on
think this
that.
is my job to look it up.
Yeah,
While you're doing that, look it up. But so Texas Tech was immensely impressive, but I'll still give a ton of credit to Drake. I mean, that team is damn good, and they're made up of D2 All-Stars, and they look like they hung tough with the Texas Tech team that I think is a Final Four caliber team.
I agree, Robbie. We talk about, I think, on the Monday bracket show, we're high on Texas Tech. I think they're the best 3 seed. All credit in the world to our kitten cats. Go ahead, Jake.
Here we go. The 2020, the Midwest bracket in 2021 for Houston. They played Cleveland State, who was the 15 seed. Then played the 10 seed Rutgers, followed by the 11 seed Syracuse Orange, and then played Oregon. Oh, wow, I would have spaced this. Oregon State.
Oregon State, the
seed.
12. That's
And Oregon
right. I
State took
forgot about that.
down.
Loyola
Oklahoma-
Chicago,
yeah, Loyola-
Oklahoma State, and Tennessee.
That's right.
Loyola-
Yep, that's right.
Did I get that right?
What'd you say?
Yeah, because Illinois was the
State
1 seed in that
and-
region.
Yeah, how the
Loyola.
hell do you know that?
That's why I listen to this pod. Yeah, Robbie, I believe in Texas Tech. Can I just read the scoring today for Texas Tech? I'm not going to name names. This is how their scoring went today. 28, 25, 16, 5, 2, 1, 0. So Toppin and Williams and Hawkins were just a whole team.
That's a men's league team.
I believe in Texas Tech. Grant
JT
McCaffrey's the
Toppin
best
was-
coach in the country. They're awesome.
JT
And-
Toppin was incredible. Like, he was legitimately incredible. He was freaking awesome. I mean, I know we say ain't no stopping Obi Toppin. I think there may be ain't no stopping JT Toppin now because the way he's
Real
playing.
quick, I had this conversation about half an hour ago. All right, he's not related to Obi.
No.
Who's the one that played at Kentucky?
Jacob.
Jacob Toppin did. Yeah.
It's Jacob. I kept thinking JT and JB. Like, I thought it was another initial base. And I was like, there's. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I digress.
Oh, I can't look at us now after Dusty's and Robbie's comments. We do look like those damn brothers.
You need the headsets on, too.
I mean, they are
Dusty, where's your
hilarious.
headset?
It's pretty funny. Well, let's go ahead and turn the attention then to the Big Ten, where going into the Wisconsin BYU game, 10-0, And then Wisconsin lost to BYU tonight, 91-89. I have a take on BYU that I'm going to have in a moment. But I want to start with Purdue and Michigan. I would say not unlikely, but maybe somewhat surprising that both of these teams are in the Sweet 16. Michigan just went on a chaotic run in the second half to beat Texas A&M 91-79. McNeese looked like a 12 seed. I mean, Clemson played like absolute dog water against them. So that's not surprised. I'm not surprised that Purdue won. I'll have a Purdue take here in a second. But I want to start first with Michigan. And I have to come clean on something, and I'm going to admit it. Michigan's good. And I hate to admit it. They're just damn good, man. I'm sorry, they are. I don't want to admit it either. But
I'm mad at you, Crab, for a different reason.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think I said my first episode on this pod a couple weeks ago, I did say there is something about starting 2 7-footers that is going to make the NCAA tournament struggle. And yes, did I lose a lot of coin on the Aggies today? Yes, I will. And guess what, Buzz? I'll be sending an invoice to replenish this pod. But having 2 7-footers is dangerous.
I mean, Roddy Gale hadn't scored over 20 points in his entire collegiate career, and he has 26 tonight.
Seriously?
Like, what are we doing here?
Off the bench too. 26 points.
But this keeps happening for Michigan. There's just these random dudes that just like Will Cheddar will come off the bench and have 15 one night. They just recently inserted Reuben Jones into the starting lineup, who will make 2 to 3 threes a game. These guys, Dusty May is just pulling these guys out from like a pickup court, and they're coming out here and do not understand how this team is so good. It hurts my brain, but damn it, they're good. And they looked incredible in the second half tonight. Dusty?
Well, first of all, I want to show something off that I got tonight. We had the reason I was late for the spot is we had friends over tonight.
You won't call
and they brought this as a present.
Oh, that's cool.
Blue
I think
balls?
it's Crocs. I think Voldemort needs me to destroy this.
Very niche reference. I get it though, Crab. I like it. Shout out to all the Potterheads out there.
But yeah. Go Cats.
Cronus, then I guess.
Potterheads. Like Potterheads. Those guys too. Yeah.
Michigan's weird to me.
Too close.
I mean, I've been down on them literally since early January. I want to say. And again, Jake keeps hyping on the 2 7-footers. They just do not look good. Even coming back today, I'm Nick. I know you want to say something, so go ahead. I don't think that good. Okay, put it this way: as a Kentucky fan, I'd love to play Michigan. How's that, Nick?
I agree with that.
I mean, you don't give them any credit for today, Crab? Any?
I mean, yes,
16 offensive rebounds.
Yes. I mean, I can't BS that. I'm just saying, I do not. They don't scare me when you can tell me like Purdue scares me. How's that, Jake? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I want to ask the three of you right now. We've all been watching a lot of SEC ball for many years, been to tournaments. Have we watched a Wade Taylor and Texas A&M team look as bad as they did in the second half? And I have to give Michigan credit.
I was stunned at like the 13-minute mark where they just could not score, could not get a stop, could not get a defensive. I mean, could not get a defensive rebound.
Well, the turning point, which I thought was going to be, oh my God, Michigan's dead. Right around the 7-minute mark in the first half, Wade Taylor gets a second foul and comes out the game. Mm-hmm. Michigan is up 2 at that point. Michigan ended the half. He came back in, I think, around like the 2-minute mark. I'm not sure why he came back in, but Michigan got outscored by 9 points to finish the half at that point. Oh no, sorry, 6 points at that point. Got outscored
without Wade Taylor.
Without Wade Taylor on the court.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen at LSU, let alone against Michigan. And for them to go into the halftime, I was just shocked. The fact that Michigan could not take control without Wade Taylor on the floor, and then to watch the second half take place. I mean, again, but poor Buzz. I mean, he needed to be more buzzed because he's going to live on this one for a long time because Wade's gone,
I think
He
so.
has to be. He played with Dusty.
Right.
Yeah, Wade had a bad game. Took too many bad shots. I mean, Wade Taylor's going to take bad shots, but when he doesn't make those bad shots, that's when it's not good. And that happened a lot tonight. If it wasn't for Pharrell Payne, A&M might have gotten blown out by 20. Like, he was the only one that actually was contributing to the cause. But you can't give up 56 points in the second half.
And get outscored by 22 in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You were up 10 and lost by 12.
Yeah, it was 60 to 50 with 13 to play, A&M.
13 minutes.
And
You
it
guys
just
said in our text messages, and we're saying it now, not being able to get stops was the biggest.
could not get
biggest deal
stopped.
of A&M tonight.
So we'll talk about Michigan's Sweet 16 opponent here in a moment, but I want to now talk about the other Big Ten team, Purdue. Dusty, you just said something. Dusty, you just said something. You're more afraid of Purdue than Michigan?
Oh, absolutely. Purdue has a leader. Even though he was sloppy today, I will say that about our.
Purdue Pete?
He's 16th All-American still to me until he wins the national title. But Braden Smith he's been awesome all year. He was sloppy today. But, I mean, dead serious, I know I'm joking around. To have someone like him who's just running your entire team to command a team is important. And Michigan, I don't think has that. So, cheers to Robbie. I think before you talk deeper about Purdue, I want to know on the pod if Robbie's going to Lucas Oil the next weekend.
As of right now, no, because tickets are probably a little too pricey, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's okay. I will say, the game that I've watched Purdue play in Indianapolis this year, they've lost. So I might need to stay away. So that's another reason why I'm probably going to end up just watching with my wife. Yeah. So Braden Smith, as Dusty mentioned, did not play a very good game. Turnovers is terrible. And they continue to emphasize, I was listening to it on the radio broadcast for a little bit, Bobby Rydell. Hi, Disney.
Hi, Disney!
Bobby Rydell, who's the color analyst for the Purdue Radio Network, kept saying Braden needed to play off of 2 feet. And he gets into a bad habit where he leaves his feet to try to make passes. And that's where McNeese really took advantage of it. And you could see it pretty clearly. The fact that Purdue turned the ball over 19 times and still won easily.
Yeah, seriously.
That was shocking to me.
20 turnovers, so 19 and to win that ball game is.
But they were more physical. They played harder. They made better decisions. Like, this was the Purdue team that we saw in January that made the run to get to where they are. Now, yes, granted, it's McNeese. I understand. This is not a great McNeese team. They took advantage of a historically horrific performance from Clemson to get to this point. But also, here's going to be me on my soapbox again talking about Purdue because I'm sick and tired of the shit that I see on social media. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Let me lean back and get.
Yeah, lean back and relax here.
Cover your ears, Disney.
Uh-huh.
Earmuffs.
So, don't know what has gotten into just the narrative on Purdue that just continues to be this way, where it's whatever they do, they can never do enough. It's, oh, you haven't beaten a good team yet because you've double-digit seeds. Oh, you guys always lose to double-digit seeds. We just beat 2 double-digit seeds. What the do you want from us?
Come on, Robbie!
Okay? I'm just like, I'm sick and tired of, like, every time when Purdue just shuts up the haters, that just, like, they come up with some new narrative to bring it around. Now, I'm sure someone's going to say, hey, now you actually have to play 1 seed. Look what's going to happen. Yeah, they're not a good matchup. They're probably going to lose to Houston. But the fact that this team has made it to a Sweet 16 for how poor they ended the season is an accomplishment in itself. And we've been saying from the entire season, from the beginning, this is not the year for Purdue. Next year is the year for Purdue because they bring everyone back. They're going to be healthy. They're going to have rim protection. But the fact that they've built confidence and gotten to a point where they made it to a Sweet 16 despite beating 2 double-digit seeds, I don't care. They're in the Sweet 16, so everyone else can shut up. Sorry, haters. You're going to have to go take a long walk and figure yourself out because it must suck to continue to try to come up with some stupid storyline to make yourself feel better about the fact that Purdue is a damn good basketball team.
And program.
Yes. That's why. By the way, my dog has come over here to check on me.
Rizzo!
He thinks that
Big Bird!
I'm getting a little too agitated, which that seems to happen from time to time when I'm talking on the spot. So anyway, but I just had to get that off my chest because I'm so tired of seeing all the constant new narrative that people want to come up with on this team and this program. Like nothing's ever going to be good enough, and even when they win a national championship, it's still not going to be good enough. But I don't care because I'm tired of the shit, and I'm just going to enjoy the ride for what it is. And it was awesome to see this team make a Sweet 16, and I'm loving watching this team play like they played like the Purdue team in January, and it was awesome to watch.
So we're not allowed to count.
Yeah! I just want to know, yes, we were counting tallies over here. 4 bombs. I'm so happy.
Robbie, can I just say 3 things on top of that?
Please
One, I think it's justice that all the years you believe in Purdue teams, that this is a team like a lot of Purdue fans not gave up on, but like a little more shaky on. This team is in Sweet 16. It just shows how. I think that's just for all of those teams. Second, Warriors 3 of 10 from 3 today. Braden Smith had 8 turnovers. He still took care of business. Great. And third, shout this pod. For the first time since 2019, Kentucky and Purdue went 2-0 in the first round, and neither one of us lost to a double-digit seed in the first 2 rounds. Shout out to us. We didn't do it this year, boys. We did not do it this year. Hell yes.
We are so back. And I made the joke.
And we still have a chance for Kentucky, Purdue, and Indy Elite Eight.
Please no. Please no. I was making a joke that to my friends, there was like some IU friends, this is where people text me, like, Purdue's going to lose to a double-digit seed again. I was like, well, bitch, we already have the 12-seed Infinity Stone locked up, so we're okay. As long as it's not the 14, we're good. So, anyway, I've been cursing a little too much. I'm sorry, but I'm just.
We mark it as explicit, not for kids.
Okay, so my apologies for anyone that I might have
No
offended with
apologies.
my vulgar language, but
Yes, explicit.
Wait, real quick.
Take it home.
There we go. It's
Raise
explicit
your hand
pod.
for your fingers.
I'm sitting too far back to take my shirt off.
That said, I don't expect Purdue to beat Houston. I think Houston is going to. If
Okay,
Purdue
you-
comes,
We should transition to them. That's a good transition, Robbie.
yeah. So that's kind of what I want to go into. I do want to talk about BYU Wisconsin a little bit in a little bit later, but I do want to talk about Houston because I thought Gonzaga actually played a really good game. And Houston was in control almost throughout until like the last 3 minutes of that game, which was, it felt like, do you remember that A&M Houston game from last year in the round of 32? It felt very familiar to that. And that's kind of why, that's what gives me a small inkling of hope that Purdue has a chance, because Houston in late game scenarios seems to have issues, but the difference with this Houston team, and we said it from the beginning, they can make shots now. And LJ Cryer was hitting some massive, massive shots tonight. Jawad Roberts, his turnaround, like left-handed hook shot, is an unstoppable shot. So this Houston team looks every bit of a Final Four team. And again, they beat a Gonzaga team that was like very good tonight and had a stretch where they could not stop missing shots. Or stop making shots, I should say.
Was that I don't know if you guys, I didn't see it, but I'm assuming, especially as a Cougar, I mean, that has 28, right, for Cryer? Has to be his.
At 28.
At least.
Or no, he hit 30.
He did hit with 30, okay.
He did
has
hit,
to be his
so
Houston high?
He tied his career high.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I was saying it has to be his Houston high, and let alone career high, but.
He was great. Without him, they don't win that game, truthfully. So,
Yeah.
Dusty, what did you think about Houston Gonzaga?
I mean, I said earlier this morning that I thought Houston would run away with it. So props to Gonzaga for coming back and making that game. That was like a Final Four type vibe, I would say.
Yeah.
So Gonzaga, I think they're underseeded. I think we talked about that earlier. Houston, I think Houston's the best team in the country. So we'll see how that works out. But Robbie, go beat them.
We'll see what happens. I mean,
Jake
might disagree with that take. Graham Ike was incredible. He's awesome.
He's been all
he's always. I mean, he's been good all year. Yeah, he's gonna have. And this is not a knock towards him. He is going to have an exceptional EuroLeague career. Like, he is going to be unstoppable in EuroLeague. Like, his game translates perfectly to that. So, it'll be fun to watch him when he goes overseas. And again, that's not a knock towards him. I just don't know if there's a spot for him in the NBA.
Agree, Robbie, because I don't know if you guys saw off topic, 10 seconds. Did you guys see Jabari Parker had finally one of his first public quotes recently about why are people calling me a bust? I've made hundreds of $1 million of over here, and guess what? Ike is going to do the exact same thing, and hell, Oscar Tshiebwe is still bouncing around the NBA, G League. I mean, there's opportunities for him, but what he has done, I think for now 2 years in a row, especially, but definitely since I'd say mid-January. He's realized I'm going to take this team over, but to watch the rise of Caliph, I want to remind people, Caliph, not Khalif, Caliph Battle.
He was great.
And his incredible barber that has put on a war since March 1st.
That really is how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's Caliph.
It's Caliph, yeah.
The Caliph I saw in the WCC, and the Caliph I saw in the first round, and the Caliph I saw in Tears in the Day as a non-Gonzaga fan broke my heart, because I watched that man go from, expectations were to battling and taking to a different level and leading the country in free throw percentage, by the way. That was heartbreaking for them, but Ike and that team, I definitely, yes, Dusty, was underseeded. However, they could have been dangerous with a different route. But
yeah, I guess they earned their seat in a chance, in a sense. Sorry, not chance.
Well, Kim Pop would argue that.
But yeah, nobody wanted to play them.
No. Yeah, two things I want to say. First of all, I thought Jake would take a shirt off with me. He did not, so I'm going to put mine back on.
I'm sitting too far.
Secondarily, Gonzaga lost 9 games this year. Oh, Crab's going to join me. Here we go.
Hagen Hall boys, this is for you.
Actually, that's a great point. Gonzaga lost 9 games this year, all by 7 points or less, or in overtime. So some of those got that. So it was truly... Crabs said Howley at 8 seed. Some of them goes differently. They're probably 3, 4, 5 seed, or even better. So
I thought they were getting like a 6 seed. I don't understand the
if they just win, if they just don't lose to St. Mary's twice in the regular season, they're probably a 4 seed.
Or beat Kentucky the time they should have. Beat UCLA the time they could have.
They really should have been at worst a 7. But that's beside the point. I mean. They were in that game down the stretch, had a 3 to tie and couldn't get one up. So
and go to Houston. I agree. They're my natty pick. They're awesome.
You mentioned it was a Final Four tie game. That's a Final Four Elite 8 type of game that Houston had to win. So at this point now, it's all bets are off here for Houston if they continue to do that. Nolan Hickman no show really hurt Gonzaga. No points, 18 minutes. They needed him to be a contributor, and he wasn't. So that really, really hurt them. Last couple of games here. I've got a take on BYU.
Yeah, who?
I think BYU is the college basketball version of the Boston Celtics right now. They have absolutely no care in the world that they're going to throw it up 40 times from 3. They're going to move the ball. They're going to get up in transition. They're going to force you to take bad shots on defense. I don't know where this. I did say it on the pod, on our bracket pod, that the way they played against Iowa State, if they played like that, they were a Final Four caliber team. Now, I wish I would have put BYU in my Final Four.
I have a random
they
question.
Looked awesome.
Quick. Can I ask real quick about BYU?
Sure.
If they played a Saturday game and it goes into multiple overtimes, it goes into Sunday, what would happen?
That's a great question.
Took me a second, but wow.
That's a great question.
Wait, so does that affect their seeding in when they play every year?
Oh yeah, so it's not the community that they have to play Thursday, Saturday.
I think part of the reason, and that's the reason why they get sent out to play West usually. But the problem is that these upcoming games are now going to be in the East region. So I would imagine they're probably going to play the first game in that East region. Dusty, that's an excellent point. Yeah.
But also those regions, I mean, the regions are set Friday, Saturday. So they're guaranteed. So you can probably predict their moving forward. You can predict what region they're going to be in.
They've been in the past lose their seed before because of that situation.
I mean, I don't know why we're catering to Mormons, but I guess.
Anyway, back to the game, Robbie.
Robbie's anti-First Amendment is what we're getting out of this.
That's what you take away from. But yes, the game.
Back to BYU, they are dangerous. They're scary.
Yeah,
they're a very scary team.
The team was Sweet 16. I agree.
But they're so efficient offensively. Like the quality of shot that they got against a Wisconsin team that's a pretty good defensive team, I was just astounded by how good it looks they continue to get every possession.
Kevin Young's one of the best. I mean, he came from NBA and the Suns. He is a damn good coach, dude.
The Suns could really use
his. Yeah.
I think, again, I've mentioned people, I know I'm repeating myself, I've mentioned before, a lot of people thought the Suns were going to hire him a couple years ago, and they probably should have. That guy can coach.
Yeah.
They might.
Richie Saunders is the man. Jesse,
so good.
Jesse, what did you think of the Baker ejection tonight, if anyone saw it? Did anyone see I don't know if you watched. So like, it was this.
Which one was that?
It was a lot like.
Oh yeah, was that elbow in the?
So people would see who's in the corner. So it's not like the McGee thing in the Wisconsin game is. So people would see. So the BYU players in the corner. He's getting double teamed. He kind of like rips through and incidentally gets a guy in the man region, as some would call it.
Well, let them choose.
And then the referee said themselves it was incidental contact to the groin region, which is still a flagrant 2. That was their words, incidental contact.
Still a flagrant 2?
And it'll still, okay, again. The drinks have been flowing.
It should be flagrant 1. That should not be.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Regardless, we've learned, if anything, since 12:40 or since 2:45 this afternoon, we've learned that these guys don't know what they're doing across the board. Anyways, there were 45,000 40-minute games today.
Oh, the St. John's foul.
So again, when refs mess something up, I'm not as shocked as I am today as I was yesterday.
Yeah, I thought it was a big thing, and then again, BYU was kind of blown at the end. Again, by the way, Houston and BYU both almost blew those games. By the way, today, they were both very close to doing it. But by the way, Robbie, great win for BYU. Wisconsin, they do it again, fall short, and
unfortunately,
John Tonji stole the game though.
They let their guard down.
John Tonji did absolutely everything he could. 37 points. He just put the team on his back at the end.
Didn't get fouled?
I don't think he did.
Honestly.
I think if St. John's and Arkansas isn't so poorly officiated on an island game this afternoon, that foul gets called for Tonji.
I think it was a foul, but I'm glad they didn't call it.
I've seen one angle. So is there? So they show like
I'll pull it up.
I don't call it like.
So okay. So here I'll bring.
I didn't see anything from one angle, but they showed it very quickly.
Well, it's fitting that the guy that was guarding Tonji at the end of the game is a former Rutgers Scarlet Knight in Mawad Mag. How fitting is it that a Big Ten player puts out the Big Ten team in the NCAA tournament? Like, just pure irony, pure schadenfreude in its finest. He brings his arms. The one thing is he's not vertical. He brings his arms down. Now, I don't know if he actually ever makes contact, like on the elbow or the arm of Tonji, but I don't necessarily hate the no call. But if they did call it, it would have been justified. I'm going to be honest. I think it was a foul.
Hey, let us know on Twitter.
Closer.
Let us know what you guys all thought. Maybe I would love to hear, but again, BYU.
I want to speak pot it. What's the speak pipe?
Speakpipe.com/D1andDonePod. Yeah, if you have a take on the foul call, the non-foul on John Tonji, it didn't seem like he was too upset they didn't call it. I think he was a bit surprised in the moment, but at the end of the day, I think it's, again, players decide games, so it is what it is. But still, what's also been a little disappointing is that was probably the best game that we've had in the tournament outside of St. Francis and Alabama State in the first game of the tournament. Like, it's been kind of a disappointing tournament in terms of buzzer beaters and down the wire finishes. So that's kind of been a little unfortunate. Let's finish up with these two games here. We'll just rapid fire it here real fast. Auburn takes care of Creighton, had a good, impressive second half run. I was really impressed with Creighton when they beat Louisville, so I thought this was going to be a good game, but Tahad Pettiford was almost unstoppable in the game today against Creighton. And then Tennessee is about to finish off UCLA. So thoughts on either of those two games where both SEC teams are moving on?
Creighton, like I said, it was a close game the whole way in Auburn Creighton, and I believe it was about 10, 11 minutes going in the second half.
Yeah.
We went 6 minutes out bucket. Auburn locked down defense. And again, I'm not making up. They say on the score graphic, 6 minutes out bucket. That's what Auburn's done all year. If people have been watching, as good as they are offensively, their defense steps up at the right time. So, good, hell of a win for Auburn. As bad as they've been playing, they got to the second weekend.
Well,
if nothing else.
And something that's huge that I don't know if people have talked about, and I'll use the War Eagle phrase I saw on Twitter tonight was, to God, Pettiford. To God, Pettiford.
He was amazing. He played great.
And he's been awesome since November, too. But his step up in the second half, I think it can be very, people question whether they're going to the Final Four prior to today's game. Is this team really that good? And 3 or 4 losses into the tournament, haven't made the Final Four, X, Y, and Z. But no, if he continues to step up on top of and take some pressures off Janai and some other guys, and Baker, Mazzaro, technical foul people, they're gonna really, I think, go hit someone else in the face on next week.
I want to ask Dusty 2 questions, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Auburn, Michigan, what do you think of that matchup in the Sweet 16? And if Auburn doesn't have Chad Baker Mazzara, does that change anything? Because he looked, I don't know if you saw it, but he was like crying on the bench at the end of that game, which I was led to believe that it seemed a little weird in the moment that he was crying and can he not play through these injuries? Is this too much for him?
Made it to the end of a game. He was shocked.
Well, before Crab answers, for people to see, he had a towel over his head, and then he came in with 2 minutes play. So I'm not sure what to make of that. I don't know.
It was odd. So anyway, Dusty, what do we think Michigan Auburn then?
I've said this. I think to me it still goes really Houston, Auburn, Florida, Duke are the top 4 teams. I think this is going to be the year that we see, or since 2008, we saw all 4 seeds get to the Final Four, which is going to be awesome. Unless, obviously, our Cats can make a run, or Purdue with the Cats. I'm not overthinking that. I do not think Michigan is in a vacuum. This is hard to say. I don't think Michigan is that good of a team. I mean, they should have lost today. They should have lost in the round 32, but they do. I guess in the same time they do come back and win these games. So I guess I'm, talking in circles right now. But I would say that Auburn wins. I would say comfortably I'm going to say Auburn by 12 in the Sweet 16.
They win 3 games to win the Big Ten, or 4?
They won 3, I believe, because they were the 3 seed. Yeah, because they had the double.
Michigan State beats the hell out of them, and they have essentially taken care of business every night they step on the court since.
Yeah,
which is kind of scary.
You say, Robbie, you made the point earlier. You believe in Michigan, so you believe in them before you believe in Michigan State. I reckon.
Yes, we do, Robbie. We do.
I hate.
Donovan Dent is about to have the game of his life coming up on Sunday. I'm just saying it right now.
I plead the 5th.
We can't have 2. We can't have 2 Patinos leave before.
No. I'll end it with this. Kentucky takes care of business. It beats Illinois. That means we will have Purdue, Kentucky, and Tennessee in one regional at Lucas Oil Stadium. I know they only have one side of this. They're only using one side of the stadium. If you're going to have those kinds of teams in Indy, you might as well open up the whole stadium and do the entire floor for Lucas Oil Stadium for that regional.
And it's still, the seats are with the curtain down. Shout out to prior 2009 Final Four. It's still almost double of Baker's Life or Gamebridge, right? Gamebridge. Yeah. It's still double Gamebridge in terms of capacity for the Elite 8 Sweet 16 if it were.
Right.
People are like, oh, we want it at Gamebridge. Why not? No, it's double the capacity, double the tickets, double the space.
So, real quick, first of all, Jake, it was 2006 Final Four.
No. the curtain was up in 2006. We went over this. You weren't around, but when you went to the 2006 Final Four, it was not an open stadium.
I was at the 2006 Final Four, so yes.
It was at the RCA Dome.
Yeah.
To the finishing, I thought the same thing. We look at pictures.
Ford Field.
It looks like a curtain is up.
Ford Field was the first time a massive stadium was opened up, and they put it in the middle like a WrestleMania type of idea. They put the stadium, opened it up. Ford Field in 2009 was the first year that ever happened.
So I want to say real quick, the vibes that I'm getting, Robbie, since you brought that up, and Jake and Nick, when you hear this, because I want to say, Jake and Nick, you two were at this with me. The Harrison twins, was that 2014?
Yep.
It was 14. Yep.
When it was Kentucky, Michigan, Tennessee,
Louisville.
and Louisville.
I was not with you guys, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the vibes I'm getting. So Kentucky, please don't win tomorrow. Let's make Indianapolis so much fun, and let's just go from there.
It is going to be a fun Sunday of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. We are
I
looking
hope so.
forward to it.
Yes,
We are rooting.
Look at Robbie. He's on. He has nothing worried about tomorrow.
Hell yeah, Robbie. Hell yeah,
How does it
Robbie.
feel to be the first game pretty much both days, and now you're just Saturday afternoon, you're like, oh, I have till Thursday.
It was fantastic.
Friday.
Okay, so
Friday.
Thursday I was watching the game at my job, which, by the way, I'm a teacher. So, and so I was my anxiety was through the roof for that. And then so it was the first game out of the way, so I got to enjoy the rest of Thursday, which was awesome. And then today, first game out of the way, got to enjoy it, and then got to lose a bunch of money betting on terrible games after that. It was fantastic.
Buzz,
so
I'm sending an invoice.
it's such an odd feeling to have, like, to win and get your games out of the way and just enjoy it, because I'm used to waiting till the end to see us wait until the end of the night to lose to Fairleigh Dickinson or St. Peter's and just be miserable for the rest of the day. So it's kind of funny how that works.
Sorry, I think Nick just broke his elbow.
It hurts so bad right now. Good
Oh, is that?
Nick, while you were talking, Nick just about broke his elbow on the wall.
We're very close to the wall. Robbie, I'm happy for you. Wait get to the second weekend. If nothing else, one member of the podcast will be represented next week.
Hey, I will see you guys there. Let's get it done and let's move on. Dan Hurley, I hope you lose by 1 billion against Florida.
Communion shots at the Mills house starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Ooh, I like that. So, go Gators, go Cats. We appreciate y'all listening to the After Dark pod of the D1 and Done pod. We'll be back for another After Dark episode, Rapid Reaction, from the round of 32 on Sunday. Until then,
in 24 hours.
we'll see you in 24 hours.
Pass go Gators.
We sleep in